Welcome to Doing It My Way by Beata Matras, a podcast about project and product management, communication, brand, and IT. All these topics will definitely improve and have a positive impact on your career. So join me today, subscribe, and expect a new episode every week. Thank you. Today, I have the privilege of talking to Alena Placha, the head of the Middle East chapter of She Loves Data. Alena is on a mission to demystify data, humanize AI, and close the gender gap in tech. She's helping women navigate the complexities of AI and data, empowering them to lead with confidence and shatter the glass ceiling in tech. In this episode, we'll discuss how businesses and professionals can embrace AI without the overwhelm while exploring the vital role diversity plays in driving innovation and growth. Alena, it's a pleasure to meet you today.
Hi, Beata. Thanks for having me. This is great.
It's a pleasure to have you here again. And I introduced you a little bit, but I would love you to tell us more about your career journey.
Okay, my career journey. Honestly, it feels like it's been very random and all over the place, literally. I started as a airport rep for a travel agency in Greece. I was there for about a year. Then I went to China. In China, I was doing fashion marketing and employer branding. And I was there during my studies, and I was actually intending to stay, but then life, specifically COVID, happened, and I was forced to go back to my country, Prague, Czech Republic. So I went back to Prague, where I started in consulting. I started in consulting in the Big Four, which was the first time I got introduced to financial services, a little bit of data. Then I transitioned to fintech for a couple of years. And then the life played a wild card again, and I ended up in Dubai this year in March. And I now work for a bank, and of course, running Sheila's Data Middle East chapter.
Yeah, that journey sounds really exciting and really unpredictable, but you embraced it. Yeah, you basically, embraced what life gave you and just used the chance. And yeah, here we are. Here we are meeting and can discuss your career journey, but also AI and tech. So, if we're talking about helping women in the AI space, what has been the most fulfilling aspect of helping women enter and succeed in the tech industry?
It's not only about teaching the skills, and but it's more about like seeing the change that is happening with the ladies that we have either attending our events or attending our courses. It's like, we're women, and this is not specifically for women, but there is like this invisible weight that they carry this energy, like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know if I should be here, this is too technical, this is about numbers, where she loves data, so they don't know what to expect. It's really the classic imposter syndrome talking. And the most fulfilling thing is when I share my experience, because I was there too. I was there at the beginning when I started my career. I had no idea, of course, where life will take me eventually. I had absolutely no intention to do data or AI. I studied Chinese literature and history and philosophy, and then just as I said, like, life happened, and I knew nothing about AI, or data, literally zero. But this is like where the magic happens, if it makes any sense. They come, they connect with us, they talk about what are their issues, what is the problem, is it I have like a specific problem, I want to learn this, or they're just like, we want to connect, we would like to enter the data industry. There's a lot of talk about AI, but we don't know how to do it. And we engage in conversations with them, and we connect them with the community to basically see that they're not alone dealing with all of these feelings and insecurities. And you see how people connect, and you see how people feel safe, and they start asking questions, and they start being a little bit more engaging, and they join our courses, and they like it, they really genuinely like it, and it keeps on motivating them. And what I really like about She Loves Data is that we do these, like, we issue certificates after you pass the course. you go through an assessment, and if you fulfill the assessment, you get a little certificate. And for example, what we did just a few weeks ago in Singapore, we had like a little graduation party, like a where these people came in, and we had like event and food and drinks, and we had a little keynote speech, and we had the founder of Sheila's Day, Diana, there. And they were just there and celebrating the little win and celebrating the little accomplishment and having like a little graduation party, even though I'm, I don't know, 35, 40 years old. And they genuinely enjoy it. So it's this combination of um, learning something new, connecting with other people, and being in a safe environment and achieving something. And I think that these little things is actually something that keeps you going. And that's the most fulfilling. Like, that's the most that we can create a platform that can provide education and help women to be more excited about tech and data.
Yeah, and you mentioned something very important, which is like community and not feeling like alone and or like lonely with the with this kind of challenges and like these thoughts like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, should I be here? Which very often, I think, we experience that a lot in tech. I'm saying we because I also experience that, even like recording that podcast or like speaking at the conferences or um, yeah, every day in my job. I'm thinking like, do I really know what I'm like talking about? But
You did it anyway.
yeah, I do it anyway. I'm scared. I'm really scared.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I'm
And
doing that.
yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. It's just like it's more about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the tech industry. It can be like in every situation that you're facing. Like, you're really scared, you feel like you're just gonna blow it. That it's not gonna go well. This thing is going to be a complete disaster. But to a certain extent, I mean, like, you're curious, right? We're curious creatures. We want to see what happens, so we try it anyway. So it's more about not the skill per se, but it's more about staying curious and just trying it anyway. Really, just and you can start little, right? You don't. It doesn't mean that you need to take this like speaking engagement, or you need to go to this big conferences, or you need to start with like a podcast straight away, right? You start little by little, and it works out, and you find out that, well, it's not as scary as I thought, and you gradually build confidence. And I think that every single women in Britain, especially women, like, are fighting with this. And it also comes from my own personal experience. Like, at the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing. When Yana asked me to lead the chapter in the Middle East, I was just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to start? We don't have any base here. I don't know anyone here. Who am I to teach anyone anything about data or AI? What am I going to do? How am I going to get the team? And then I got the support from the organization, and I had to put myself out of the comfort zone. And then things just got a little bit easier over time, and and that's just, I guess, that's the secret sauce.
Yeah, that's the secret sauce, to just make a first step and then somehow you will get there. Yeah, you will probably like, mess something up, but then still you like, stand up, you
You
fall,
will
you
learn.
stand up and you learn and you continue. And there is like a lot of conversations about the glass ceiling, especially in data and tech and AI. What does term mean to you, and what are the biggest barriers preventing women from entering or advancing in tech today?
The glass ceiling. I'm gonna set a scene. So you're in a beautiful office, and there's this corner meeting room with a beautiful view. It can be New York, Dubai, London, whatever. And you have those windows, right? It's basically see through, and you can see what is going on there. And there is a meeting, and there is a really important meeting, and you know exactly what the meeting is about, and you know that you have so much to say because you've been with the company for a long time. You know the business model in and out. You've learned absolutely everything because we're queens of preparation and analysis and making sure that we know every single tiny little detail. And you know that your insights would actually bring a lot of value. You know that you know this in your heart. So I'm just you want to discuss, you want to share what you know, you want to share the ideas because you know it's good for the people there or the organization or both. And you go there and you go by the door and you knock the door. I was like, hello, I would really like to join this meeting. I think that I worked very hard for this, and I have the experience, and you've known me for a while, so you know how I deliver and you know that I get the job done. And they tell you, nah, not today, honey. Not today. You got to spend another 2 or 3 years proving yourself and proving your value and that you're worth it, and maybe we will consider. And as a result, what happens is that you can either think about, okay, I'm going to accept this and I'm going to wait, and maybe it will happen because they told me it's going to happen, and then the management will change and you will be going through this all over again. Or you just say, okay, this is not worth it, this is not worth my time and energy, and maybe I should just give up on this organization and or this engagement, and just leave. And honestly, specifically this, that's why companies are losing talent that has been with them for years. And but it is what it is. I mean, we just need to accept it. And if you're a woman in that situation, you really need to carefully evaluate if this is worth your time and energy, or if it's better just change. And change hurts every single time. We get comfortable very quickly, and the longer we are in a certain situation, the harder it is to change. But when you engage in conversations with people that have gone through some change, at least from my experience, they don't tell you that it was a bad thing. They tell you that it was a good thing, that it was really hurtful and painful at the beginning, but then it eventually paid off, and that's usually the case. It's just making the first step is something that is like really scary, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think also about the change and that it's painful. Yeah, like there is a period when it's like painful, but we are weird creatures, and I think our minds are like you know um, kind of designed in a very weird way that at certain point we forget about bad things, and we are thinking, when we are looking back at the past, we're thinking,
It wasn't that
oh,
bad.
that was actually, yeah, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was. I'm happy that I've done that. Yeah, like even if
Mhm.
you were like crying a lot, you were like mad, you were sad, and you were like, oh my god, I'm lost. You're like looking at that point in the past and you're like, "Ah, I'm just glad, yeah, I'm just glad I've done that, and I would go through this like once again, yeah, to reach the point that I'm in. um yeah, but if we're talking specifically about women, what is about us that is like, you know, preventing us from like entering and advancing in tech? Because I'm thinking also about the mindset that we're having sometimes as women. That you mentioned that already in the beginning, that we think that, oh, this is numbers, this is like difficult. We are not maybe meant to be. Maybe this is more like male dominated field. So yeah, I don't fit here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it really resonates around not feeling like you're good enough, uh,
Mm.
in a professional setting or even in a personal setting. And you have this belief that you need to get more experience, or you need to read one more book, or you need to complete one more certificate, or you need to study more. And you live in this illusion that this will actually help. It maybe will help in terms of you will feel a little bit more confident, because at the end of the day it's about building confidence. But all of this that you mentioned, it's really an internal work. Rather, it's like internal situation that you're dealing with on a personal level, that rather than the external one, if it makes any sense. And that's something that I've uh, witnessed quite a lot, is that they women generally feel like they don't have much to offer, especially when they're starting their career, right? If it's not the case that they've been doing this for 20 years and they have like this experience and the jobs done and achievements, because of course we need to prove our worth, we need to prove ourselves that we have that we can get the job done. And it's more so if you're more at the beginning, it's like this feeling, what am I doing? Like, how are people gonna see me? Like, what are they gonna think? Like, what if I do this? I will look stupid, I will look dumb. And that's the biggest barrier that is happening only inside of your head. And I guess what we're trying to tackle here with She Loves Data, but also on a personal level, because sometimes I have like ladies reaching out to me, on LinkedIn or here in the region, and we engage in little conversations where we go for a coffee and so on. And sometimes what I'm realizing is that they just need someone to tell them, you can just freaking do it. If you don't know how to start, organizations like Sheila's Data or others can help you out, because we're not focusing only on the hard skills. We will not only teach you like how to code, how to use SQL, how to do data analysis, but we also teach like leadership and this confidence and these like soft skills that we really need in a daily life. So I would say, if you don't know how to start, reach out to like organizations like She Loves Data or Women in Tech. There are Women in AI. There are many communities actually in the region that can help you out with this, with the start, because it's hard to start and you don't know how to start because there has been just a lot of out there. But try to reflect, why are you feeling that way? Like, what is there to lose? Like, what is there? What is the cost of looking stupid? What is going to happen? Why are we perceiving this as a life or death situation? Like I quite recently started like this whole personal branding on LinkedIn, and I was just like, I've never been good in writing. What am I trying to do here? What am I doing? Like, how could anyone read anything that I write? I mean, like, I have nothing to share. That's one of the things also that are very important. I have nothing to share. I don't know anything. I don't know as much as I would like to know in order to start sharing something. But it's this combination of like a self doubt and constantly questioning our worth, combined by comparison as what is on the social media. Social media,
Mm,
the looks and the lifestyle that you should have. In terms of the LinkedIn, everyone is an expert on LinkedIn. Everyone is an AI
we
guru.
all
Everyone
are.
knows
Yeah.
everything about data. But what I can tell you, I mean, like ChatGPT has been here for about like 2 years. But what I can tell you, all of this content, if you've been doing this for quite a while, you can sense that some things are just like AI generated, and it's pretty
Yeah.
it has this template. And you know what sometimes happens to me is that I receive like these comments, and they even forget to remove the parentheses when ChatGPT gives you the output. It gives it to you like in the parentheses, and then at the end it's like, would you like us to improve the English, or would you like me to explore other ways to comment? And people don't even care. People just post it there the way it is, without any
Yeah.
human touch. So don't let this to trick you, because yes, lately we have been or I have been noticing that more people are being a little bit vulnerable, sorry, a little bit more open in terms of their experience, that yeah, we have failed so many times, so people are becoming a little bit more open about that. But still, majority of the content that you see out there is success. Everyone is doing amazing. Everyone is a CEO. Everyone is a thought leader. Everyone is a serial entrepreneur. Everyone is doing amazing. I mean, like, come to Dubai, Habibi, because the life is just great. Everyone's so successful here. And it's just these people just entertaining this corporate and this professional lifestyle. But when you dig deeper and when you start connecting with people, and this is also why I do what I do, you will realize we're all insecure. We
Yeah.
insecurities. We all have like these moments where we have absolutely no idea what we're doing. But what does it mean? It means that you're learning. You're learning something new. If you don't know what you're doing,
Mm,
try it anyway. 1000% you will learn, and you will learn from this, and you will repeat what worked, and you will not do what didn't work. As simple as that, because you learn. And I think that's the key. And what we can do is just to encourage you, and what I want to do with people in general, just to encourage them, just give it a shot. Like, you have nothing
mm.
to, really, you have nothing to lose. It's just LinkedIn. It's just social media. It's just like this virtual platform that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. There is also like, I think that like deep into like our biology, or like how we were like designed and created. There is also like this a kind of need in us to not be like rejected by people, and I think that what is like stopping us very often from even like from like posting, for example, or LinkedIn, or like doing something extraordinary that we want to do, like, I don't know, changing the job, moving the country, whatever, because we don't want to be alone. Because in the past, in like Asian history, if you were alone, you were dead, basically. I mean, if you didn't have a group, you were dead. Right now it changed. If you're alone, you'll survive. But still, like this kind of how we were designed as animals, as
Mhm.
human beings, yeah, is still like working, and we need to like use more this like conscious brain rather than this, how is it called, like this,
The
I
wiring,
don't know. Sorry.
the wiring that your brain is wired in a certain way.
Yeah, our brain is like wired in a certain way that doesn't.
Unconsciously, yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I think that I know what I mean is, it's that there is true to that. If yes, thousands years ago, if you were alone, you would be dead. I'm sorry, but yeah, I understand this is subconsciously the case, but it's not the case now, or at least in many developed parts of the world. And so don't get me wrong, this, but like taking this as an excuse, if I could put it that way, not to take the risk, treating this as a life or death decision. Yes, many people do that, and I'm aware of that because I used to do that as well. But then just try to analyze the feeling that you're having, if it makes any sense. Like, why are you feeling that way? And try to get like a level deeper, and try to get into the core in terms of what is the worst thing that can happen and what is the best thing that can happen. And it's a very similar example to this is like that you just mentioned, is this hunter gatherer. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Sorry, not native speaker. Um, of that there is like a limited supply of everything. So the more people that have access to something means that each one of us will get like a little bit less. And that's also like the mindset that you see very often in like the very senior leadership, right? You have like partners in the company, and you feel like if you have another partner, they will take a little piece of what could have been your own, right? So that's also why there is like this competition aspect, and I think it also affects women in the workplace, because once you have a woman that actually made it to the top, she's mostly the only one or one of the few. So there is this like she can make like two decisions. So the first decision is, okay, I'm in power, I'm in a position of influence, I'm going to do my best to make sure that the ladies in our organization have more opportunities or equal access to opportunities that I didn't have when I started. That's a decision number one. And the decision number two is like, I worked so hard, or the perspective number two, I worked so hard to get here. Why should I help anyone else to get here faster? Because I have put in so much work into it. And that's also why, we talk about the glass ceiling, and we talk about I also hear it quite often, like it's us against them. It's like men versus women. It's not men, it's not only men, it can be also women, it can be people in general. It doesn't mean that just because you have a female leader, she will be extremely supportive and she will be all about women. That's not the case. And I also think what is important to realize here, and it's men versus women. It's something that I started getting into quite not that recently, but a few months ago. Is that this idea that women and men are equal? And I know that it may sound strange coming from someone in my position, like she loves data, you know, um, helping women to feel more powerful, more confident. But what I think is, it's these equality, from my perspective at least, this absolute equality is an illusion, because we are not the same. We can bear children, men can't, and you can do anything that you want about it. We're most probably gonna get there one day, but that's not nothing that you can change at the moment. And so biologically, to begin with, and what I think that we should just change the narrative a little bit, because one of the reasons is that we are so focused on closing the gap that we are completely overseeing another problem that is arising, and that's the impact on men in the long term. I just recently came across the data that you have like this generation of young white men that are completely disengaged from the society. They have they don't want to pursue careers. They are not ambitious. They don't want to study because they don't know what their role in society is. And what I'm trying to say is, don't be so blindfolded and don't be so like this when you focus so much on closing the gap, and try to see things from like a bigger perspective as how your actions are actually uh, influencing, and the effect that they are having on the wider society. So the message that we're trying to put out there is not to make women and men equal, but to give them equal access to opportunities, equal voice at the table, equal opportunity to voice their perspectives, to get the cool projects. Like, don't just post the metrics as to who got hired, but also post the metrics as who got the cool projects. And don't get me wrong, like closing the pay gap, that's not magic, that's not a favor, that's like a simple math. But the rest, it's like, it's not about keep like putting these two genders. Let's just simplify it, and let's just say that for the sake of this conversation, there are two genders only. To close the gap between them and to make them absolutely equal, but just let's make sure that they have equal opportunity to bring value, if it makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's very interesting what you said about, like, the we versus them mindset, like women versus like men, whether in reality we should like more collaborate. Because as you also like mentioned, there's like this queen bee syndrome, which doesn't always like makes all female leaders supportive towards their younger colleagues, let's say. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's not, again, it's not about gender, it's more about kind of the character you're having, whether you're supportive as a human being, whether you have the empathy rather
Absolutely.
than your gender. Yeah, whether you want to support someone, you want to make a place for more people, or you feel like, no, this is my place, I prefer to be alone here, I love it here, yeah, it's fine, I don't need anyone else. Yeah.
And my favorite, we have always done it this way. So why should we change that? We have always done it this way. But it's exactly as you're saying, like this diversity, it's not really about gender, is it? This diversity is about having people from different backgrounds, with different opinions, with different communication styles. I think that's one of the things that companies are struggling big time, because what is the right communication style, and why do we need to use this communication style across the whole organization? We don't give space to experiment, like how you know different people to work with. I mean, like, to have a diversity in terms of who is hard to work with but he or she can deliver, and who is the very good person to work with, and but they are a little bit more on the average side in terms of the delivery. So this is the diversity. So you have the culture, you have the nationality, you have the life experience. For example, this is about tech. Tech doesn't need more people that are techie, if I can put it that way. Tech needs more people that bring different, unique perspectives of things, so all of these people can get into a room and think about how to solve a problem. You don't need just only the tech people. You need the people that have the experience from HR, from marketing, from sustainability, from different aspects, and just let these people talk and to come up with a unique and unbiased solution. Because bias is also a very, very huge thing, a very huge topic when it comes to data and AI. So that's how I see diversity. It's like a giving people, just giving a lot of people the space and the chance. But it's hard. It's hard for the organizations, because this requires a huge change. And uh, how do you measure this? At the end of the day, I mean, like, corporations and organizations are all about measuring it, and we have. I think that I've seen this somewhere in a podcast or something, and I think I read it, that who said it. I'm not sure, but they said, like, we had 1,000 metrics as how to measure performance, but we don't have metrics to measure how much of an asshole you are at work. It's just like, if you're sorry, if someone enjoys to work with you because you're easygoing, you listen. It's not that you need to talk, 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 but you're there and you listen to other people's perspective and you try to find them
Yeah.
solutions and you actually listen to their problems because it's not all about you. How do we measure this? Honestly,
Hmm.
we
Yeah,
don't.
how do you measure that and how it impacts the team, how it impacts the other results? Yeah, how actually, yeah, that impacts the end KPIs or whatever measures you
Mhm.
have. And talking about like biases, misconceptions, and data, what are the common misconceptions about AI and data science that you've come across in your career?
AI is gonna take your job. That's my favorite one. I'm not gonna say no, it's not going to take your job. I'm gonna say it depends if it's gonna take your job. We have talked a lot about change, and this is the thing. This is the same case. So AI, what has been happening for the past 2 years is absolutely incredible, and it's hard to keep up, right? And I completely understand that. But there in general there are like three types of people, I would say, like one or three groups of people. One group of people says, okay, something new. I'm excited. I want to learn something about it. I want to get on. I want to surf the wave. Then there is the other one that doesn't care at all, like AI what? I don't care, and I choose to ignore it. And then there is this third group that is resisting the change, and they said, no, I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna use it because it's stupid, or I'm not gonna use it because it's dangerous. It's a big brother. They know everything about me, and so on. And I think when it comes to taking our jobs, the two latter groups of people are in huge disadvantage because whether you like it or you don't like it, it's going to happen because it's already happening now and it's only accelerating. So what you can do here is to um, accept it, which is hard. I get it, but accept it and try to learn how you can actually take this into your advantage, I would say. So that's one. Another is that we've covered this already, but that it's too technical, that you need to be a math genius and you need to have a data science degree. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. If you have it, it helps 100%. You have the advantage. You understand the numbers. You can crunch the numbers. It really helps. But it's not a necessity. You can still learn how to use AI. And we had recently like an AI mindset workshop in Singapore, and we had one of the keynote speakers was there, Peter Ludwig. He's from my country, and he's like an AI expert in Czech Republic. And Czech Republic is really, when it comes to innovation, we're like really bad. Okay, let's just put it that way. And he talks about this mindset, and I'm not sure if it's his thought or he took it from someone else, but you have like two users of AI. One is the, or two experts. One expert is the one, it's the coder, it's the programmer, it's the very, very technical person that knows exactly how the algorithms work, how the algorithm works, and he or she can get really into the detail. And then there is the other expert, and the other expert is the user. Like, how do I use whatever this guy created into my advantage? How do I use it in business? How do I use it to optimize my process? How do I use it to stop doing all of these boring stuff that brings me to tears every single day? How do I use it? And you can be either of those. And this the latter part, it's not as technical as you think. You need to have more of a business intelligence, this wide range, like you connect the dots and you can find specific usages how to use the AI tool, but you don't necessarily need to understand how everything in the background works.
That's very important what you said, that you don't need to know like all the basics of how it's created. You can start using that.
Yeah, and what I say, another thing, I'm not sure if it's a misconception, but I've heard this before. It's that it's unbiased, that it's like very objective, and it's data at the end of the day, and data doesn't carry any emotional value. It's not like human beings. It could be either or. But I see this, and we recently had an event, or I mean, like recently in August, had an event where we were talking about like a data preparation for AI. And something that I like to say is, if you have a garbage in, you have garbage out. So if you feed it with nonsense, it will give you nonsense as a result, and it's up to you if you're willing to accept it, or if you're willing to do the legwork and prepare the proper data. Because in this case, AI is like a mirror, the mirror that you don't wanna that you don't wanna have, and it can show you this illusion of yourself, or the illusion that of the output and the outcome that you're trying to get. And I mean, like, you can accept it, but that's also, we also see organizations like implementing AI like crazy because they want to stay relevant, and many of the projects like end up either over budget, over time. They don't deliver on time, or they fail completely, and it's because companies don't want to. They want to build a fancy AI layer on top to say AI enabled. We are also relevant in this world, but they don't want to do the legwork, and that's the data, and that's the data preparation and labeling and cleaning that takes a lot of time, but of course it will give you much better result.
Yeah, yeah. That's also very important what you said about the kind of data that needs to be like refined and checked before you even like put it to the system. And the funny thing about data is like, okay, data may not be biased, but the people who are analyzing the data, we're all biased at certain, level about everything.
100%, so much in our unique perspective of things. And yes, we can be uh, emotionally intelligent, and we can be open to feedback, and we can be open to reevaluate our beliefs and our core beliefs and all of that, but not many people do that. Many people have like a really rigid belief system, and they don't want to believe into anything else. I mean, like, if you look at the world, what is happening now, there's like a living proof that this is happening. And what happens is that, and that's also one of the aspects where we talk about diversity, is what happens if you have a very, I don't know if I can say, like a monotonous group of people doing one thing, and you have people agreeing with you on everything that you say. The chances are that the result's going to be pretty bad. And it depends on you as an individual if you want to be challenged, or if you, as a leadership team, if you want to be challenged by other people with different opinions. And there we go, diversity again. You want to be surrounded by people that have different opinions, can challenge you, can challenge the idea, can come up with different perspectives, unique ideas as how to improve this, and in order to get a better result. It's like there's so much written out there in terms of like how diverse teams are more productive, because they even have different people have different ways as how to resolve conflict, like how to deal with the ego game, how to deal with the different emotions that are arising during a difficult meeting, how to sense how people work, like all of these things. And if you don't have that as a skill set, as a hard skill set or soft skill set, get someone in your team who has it, so they can complete you. And it's really it's about that.
Yeah, the question is if you want to have that view and
No, of
that
course,
awareness. That's another thing. Yeah.
always been doing
Um,
it this way. Why change?
yeah. Why change? It works. It works. Why change? Yeah. We're talking about, AI that is sometimes like overwhelming or unfamiliar, especially for people who are like rebels and don't want to use it because it's bad, or people who are not very convinced to AI. So how professionals, especially like not using AI, can start to understand and integrate it into their day to day without feeling overwhelmed?
Well, before I will say anything, it's funny how some people are so scared about AI without realizing that they're using it anyway every day already. Every single time that you open any social media, there is like a certain algorithm, working, and they're trying to engage you as much as possible, or recommendations of music on Spotify, or Netflix movies, like. if you go on Amazon and you
Use
order something.
smartwatches or something
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
personal assistants and all of
everything.
that. And I mean, like, you don't even think about it, right? Why don't you think about it? Well, you've already learned how to use it to begin with, which is also a very nice case when it comes to learning how to use AI, because it's not as hard as you might think. That's one thing. And another thing is it's becoming incredibly user friendly. It's not, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, that's one of the innovations that I'm really excited about. It is becoming less of a computer robot, science fiction, but it's becoming really user friendly. So, um, just already now the tools that are using are very easy to use. But what I would say is start small, baby steps. For those who haven't used ChatGPT or Claude, give it a try. There are free versions. You can just have a little chat with it, and then start, having a discussion with the ChatGPT. For example, at the beginning, I was googling everything. Right, that's what the Google search was about. You just type in something that you don't know. Now, what I do, I just ask ChatGPT, and ever since the search function, the web search function has been introduced, goodbye Google search. Honestly.
Yeah, or Perplexity AI. I don't use Google like for a long time. I use Perplexity AI because I can get
Mhm.
all the resources or the like, summary and something like that. I don't need to go through all the links. I have like a
Exactly,
summary.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Very useful. So I would say use ChatGPT. Use it for, I don't know, email drafts, or you can use Grammarly for editing, or you can use Google Photos just to organize the photos. You can play a little bit with Canva AI tools, or even on LinkedIn. LinkedIn now gives you recommendation as how to tweak the bio that you write. How to help you to have like the profile. When you have the photo and underneath you have the introduction, as what kind of a guru you are on LinkedIn. So the AI can actually help you to propose something based on your profile, or even the content that you want to share. All of these are really like a good steps to start with, and you will very quickly realize that it's not as hard as you might think. That it's actually pretty easy and pretty user friendly, and not that scary. And then I would say, as a step two, once you will get a little bit more familiar with that, um, just ask yourself, what is the most annoying thing that I have to do every single day? Me crazy, whether it's at work. Okay, not everything can be solved by AI. Maybe that wasn't the best question. But what is the like? Is it like replying emails, or is it on LinkedIn when you need to do the cold emailing? Like, what is the hideous task that you have to do, and search. Well, there is most probably an AI tool for that. Whether it's scheduling meetings, replying emails, or just organizing your time, there is most probably a tool that can help you with that. So don't focus so much on the technology, but focus on the problem that you're trying to solve for yourself or for someone else in your organization, and start from that. If you're in marketing and you want to analyze customer data, great, you can start with that. Or if you're in operations and you want to optimize some sort of a process, do a little bit of your research and try to implement something in your real life. And I think that once you will realize that how helpful this can be, you will want to learn even more about it, because you will realize that it actually works.
Yeah, and if we focus especially like on women that are shying away from tech careers, what advice would you give them about gaining confidence in tech skills and data literacy?
Be careful of free advice from people that haven't achieved what you want to achieve. But in general, what I would say, it's not too late, and it's not too complicated. It's not as overwhelming as you make it in your head, and it's more about the fear, and it's more about your internal struggle, because you feel that you will look stupid. And what I would say, I see this even among women that are actually pretty successful in their careers, there's still moments where they feel pretty insecure. And I think that's really important to understand that it's very human and it happens to absolutely everyone. And so I would say just start small, as we just talked about, like what are the small steps that they can take. I would say if you don't know how to start, reach out to communities in your region. Search if there are any communities in your region that can invite you in and just guide you on this journey a little bit, um, to basically navigate, because there is a lot of innovation out there. So I know that it's really hard to start. And Chat GPT wasn't here 2 or 3 years ago. Like AI on the scale that we know as of now wasn't here 2 or 3 years ago. So there are definitely people that have been in AI and data for decades, and they definitely have significant advantage. But what is important to understand now is that we're pretty much on the same level. We're pretty much like starting at the same point. Like we all of us have been using ChatGPT for about like 2 or 3 years. So even though some of the job description can be telling you, or that they want you to have 10 years of like using ChatGPT, I mean, like it's BS. It's not the case. That the tool has been here for about 2 or 3 years. So we are all at the beginning of this. So it really depends on you how much you're willing to learn already now and take the steps already now, because the more time you take, the more innovation will happen and the more that you will have to catch up with.
Yeah, that's very good advice because we're still, yeah, in the beginning. You can still catch up with that, and in
We are
few
pretty much
years,
on the
I
same
don't.
boat. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and if we're talking about the future of AI, actually, and the data science, how do you see it evolving in next few years?
Robots. No, I'm kidding. Uh, um, Flying cars and so on. No, flying cars are actually already available in Dubai, for some
Hmm,
reason.
I
Yeah,
didn't know.
flying
That's
taxis. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. It's like hashtag innovation. Everything is happening here. But what I would say, um, is AI getting more human, not in a creepy science fiction way, but in terms of like understanding the context already now. So when understanding the context, but when I say it's cold, I might be talking about my coffee or the weather or someone's personality. So like really like grasping the context overall. The personalization are getting a little bit less scary in terms of we're shifting from we know everything about you towards we know what you like. So it's like a difference. It's a like transitioning from a stalker to a good friend, if it makes any sense. And it's
Well,
a
that's a good
democratization.
summary, actually.
And then just making AI more available and free. And there are so many tools that you can play with, and uh, and it's for free and it's user friendly, and you can get yourself very excited about it. And it's not necessarily about you trying to integrate it into your daily life. It's already happening without you even knowing about it, because there are new tools introduced, and you will be using it one way or another. So it's democratizing AI. And also, one thing that I like very much, but this is like a region specific, there is like um, a lot of investment in terms of education about AI, that this region is really investing in education so people can catch up. And one thing in Singapore, which I think is absolutely amazing, they have this re-qualification program for people over 40 years old, to teach them about AI, so they are not left behind, because like the older generation might be struggling with change even more than us, and even like younger people than us. So the government is actually working on making sure, um, they want to make sure that these people also know about AI, because AI is great, but it's creates a lot of bad things as well in politics, fake news, all of these scams that are happening because the way how realistic these videos and these voice notes are, how they can simulate your voice and your features, the way you talk. It's impressive, but yes, scary at the same time. So people, like the government of Singapore, is trying to make sure that these people don't become a victim of something like that, which I think is
Wow,
pretty amazing. And
that's amazing,
this should
really.
be, this should be done like in every single country, because I try to educate my parents and my grandmother about these things happening. But as far as they can go at the moment is the spam email telling you that you won the lottery on, and just click here and give us your credit card details and we will send you the $1 million. So they of course they know that this is a scam, but if they received a phone call from me,
Hmm.
from just a random number with my face and my voice and saying like, "Mom, I'm in danger," like the very first, it's a shock reaction, right? You don't even think about like analyzing the video if there are some nuances and Alena's left eye is a little bit bigger than on the picture or something like that. I mean, like they
Yeah.
realize that. So people can be really, um, people need to be equipped. People need to be ready for something like that. And if you have progressive governments that take these measures, great. But I think like Singapore is, if not the only one, one of the few that do something like that.
Hmm. Amazing, amazing, and that's very important what you said, because yeah, in the now the email scam is just, it seems like a childish play if you compare it right now to the possibilities that AI is giving um, wrong people, let's say. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
people who want to like use others. So yeah, that's very important to educate older generations. And if we're talking about the future of AI and tech, what role do you think women can play in shaping that future? What is our role? What do we want to do in AI? That's interesting.
Mm, it comes down back to the diversity. Uh,
Mm,
like women's role in tech is not just about filling diversity quotas, but it's about preventing the blind spots, if it makes sense. Because women approach problem solving from a little bit of a different angle, usually. So they're more likely to get in the context and in the wider context, like what are these
yeah,
things that are
like a
happening. That
holistic view.
holistic view, yeah, yes, thank you. They have higher emphasis on ethical considerations, which I think in terms of AI, this is like incredibly important. And I think that they're generally better at spotting negative impact, like professionally speaking. So I think it's bringing different perspectives, and I know that I'm repeating myself, but it's the message is still the same. Bringing different perspectives, and just at the end of the day, we complete each other. We complete each other, unique set of hard or soft skills, and we just approach situations differently. We approach conflict differently. We approach ethical questions differently. And if we are invited in the room to challenge some of these ideas, what bad thing can come out of it? Honestly, so I think it's really important to promote these voices to be heard. And it's not us against them. So even now, yeah, tech is still very heavily male dominated, but these men in senior management, they can do the work, and they can be the supporters, to make sure that this happens.
Yeah, yeah, agree. There's like a huge piece in this diversity and like bringing different perspective to the table and making sure that all the concerns that we're having or all the contexts that we identify are actually taken into account when we are developing some new technology. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that I wanted to also mention is like, um we naturally, I feel that women naturally connect the dots, you know. We naturally, we're a little bit, we're skilled when it comes to seeing relationships between different problems, and we also tend to ask the questions. And I think that it's a addition to what I mentioned before in terms of like these ethical problems, like, should we do this? Like, you question, right? Is it the right thing to do? And so it's more about like, should we do it rather than can we do this? And one thing that um, also extremely important is we bring emotional intelligence into technical decisions, and we are um, we are very good, or at least from my experience, we're very good in terms of translating the language. Like this, you have one side that has this like jargon, Olympics when it comes to tech vocabulary, and then we're able to translate it into something that has a like a business value.
Yeah, reflecting on our conversation, if there is like one key piece of advice that you would give our listeners about career growth, AI, tech, what would it be?
Just stay curious and just give it a try, and you will see what happens. I'll just keep it very, very simple and straight to the point. Just give it a try. And if you don't know how to start, connect with us, connect with me, and She Who Loves Data can help with that.
Okay, thank you for that advice. And thank you for encouraging people to, yeah, reach out to you and to She Loves Data because obviously communities always are helpful. So, and help you to not feel so lonely. And about also something exciting, what are you most excited about in your upcoming projects or personal journey?
About upcoming projects, what I'm really excited is, this Dubai uh, chapter, not in a sense as a She Loves Data chapter, but let's say like my life chapter was really a gamble and a huge risk. But it's paying off, and we are really growing. We're really growing in terms of partners, in terms of companies that want to work with us, people that want to join the community. So the opportunities are coming, and I believe that Dubai really is a place to be. Um, Especially if you're interested in AI and in innovation. And so this is a really good place to be at the moment. We are planning to bring our new signature program, which is the AI Mindset Fundamentals offline in Dubai. So we're going to run 3 series of offline workshops where we will invite anyone, not just women, but anyone that want to start with their AI journey, to join us for these series where we will cover, like everything from the mindset and machine learning and Gen AI and how to spot the difference and how to use it in different situations, which will be, followed by the certification
Amazing. That
with the
sounds amazing.
credentials. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
want to
this is,
join.
well, you should. We will most probably start in the December or January, and so this is something that I'm really excited about because this is like the first time we're doing something like that here. And yeah, just really just countless project, because this place is the place of opportunities, and it's really the melting pot of cultures. And what is unique about Sheila's data community in here in particular is that no one is really, or the vast majority of people here are not really home. They're expats, and they miss their fans, and they miss their families, and they miss their old life to a certain extent. And we bring these people together. And you mentioned that communities are important, and I think communities, especially here, are super important. And the feedback that we're getting from this particular aspect of the community here is pretty amazing. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, yeah, very important to, have your support network, and community can be a great start to build that. And for our listeners who want to connect with you or join She Loves Data, where they can find you, where they can find She Loves Data.
So Sheila's Data, sheilasdata.com. If you want to join
Hmm.
the community, what you need to do is to subscribe to the newsletter. That's how we will get you into the database, and you will be informed about all of the activities that we're up to. It's basically our main communication channel with the community members. And in terms of myself, definitely LinkedIn. That's where I hang out
Hmm.
quite a lot lately. So that's the place to find me.
Okay, that's where we've met also.
Oh yeah, right. That's what we meant.
Yeah.
You're coming
Uh,
to
the
the soon, so I mean, like, just the beginning.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. So, Elena, thank you for our conversation. It was lovely to speak with you and hear your insights. And yeah, can't wait to meet you again. And thank you.
Thank you very much. This was great. I really enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining me on another episode of Doing It My Way by Beata Matras. If you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe. Remember, this podcast is a dynamic journey and your feedback is very welcomed. Connect with me on social media. I would like to hear your thoughts, questions, and topic suggestions. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes. And until next time, keep doing it your way.